Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show where after the collision, we see through.
The wreckage.
Oh, dude, so gnarly. I'm just so wicked. Boy.
Just quietly, fellas. We are live on Hammy Meekham's YouTube channel and, of course, on the Patreon after the fact. But since you are the professor, actually, Prof, do you recognize that tune?
This sounds like Beach Blast, maybe?
Bang! Yeah. It's the Beach Blast theme from back in the day. And I'm talking about WCW Beach Blast. Since AEW are so desperately want to be WCW, I had to do it just for this week. Since it is a beach break edition of the Wreckage. But anyway, I had to do
It's so gnarly, Jimmy. It's so totally tubular.
Oh, boy.
That's the monster of the wreckage. Woo, he sets the sails. Then in California, dude, those waves are rocking, isn't it?
That's right, bro. We're all surfing out here, man.
Totally rad, man.
Who needs a heat wave? We got real waves, dude.
Oh,
Bossa
man.
Nova.
You know what? That prompts
Chevy
me that
Nova?
the fact that the vet actually did that. Because he's a California native and never have I heard him do anything that's close to a California sort of thing. Until now, Vet. What's going on, man? How you been, bro?
Yeah, pretty good. You know,
Pretty good? Have you got your
I'm
rubber
surprised
duckies
that
on?
we got all this, this glorification because, as we all know, Jimmy hates themed shows. He hates it when Tony
Dude.
names an episode of Dynamite something that's not just Dynamite, Beach Break, or Fight for the Fallen, or Fighter Fest, or Roadblock, or whatever. All these different things that they come up with. Jimmy hates it. He complains about it. You think Professor has a problem? Jimmy can't stand it. But here we are with all the we get the dress up and the music and everything. So I guess he finally does this mean you finally embraced it, Jimmy? That
Well, it gives me an
it's
excuse
okay to just
do
name
shit
an
like this.
episode something once in a while.
Well, it gives me a reason to do this stuff, you know what I mean? So that's the only positive side about it. Because I don't mind doing this kind of stuff just for the shit stir. Since, like you just said, Tony loves calling his random dynamites a random gimmick. I mean, since they were outdoors this week, you might as well have done it at the beach. I know we were in Florida, but shouldn't we have done it at least right at the beach?
They were. What are you talking about? They were on the soundstage.
Okay. Oh,
and
yeah,
there was
yeah,
the
okay,
beach
yeah.
right there.
I had sand. I'm just saying.
You see, this is the difference, Jaime Knights. I'm objective. Maybe I might be critical, but I'm objective, and I'll give Tony his flowers. It was a nice ambiance. It was a nice
that was good.
setting.
I agree.
The crowd was into it. 2,000 or 3,000, fine. It is what it is on that, and it's a themed Dynamite. So you know what happens, Jimmy, with themed Dynamites? People actually tune in to themed Dynamites. I don't know why the sickos don't want to watch 2,000 people in an arena, but they rather watch 2,000 people on a beach enjoying that. And the ratings proved it because they upped their ratings a little bit more. This is one of the highest ratings in the last 2 years, guys. So, a little bit of a nuance right there. But again, we're celebrating, for the sickos. Jaime Knights tagged the sickos on this one. The sickos are celebrating ratings that they should already be at again. It's really weird.
That's true. I mean, it's weird how you can put a gimmick on it and suddenly it's going to attract more viewers for whatever
That's
reason.
not why they got it. Okay,
You don't think so?
700. What is this? Take this down.
Oh, can you see that?
Why is this on here?
Oh, I'm surprised you saw it.
Jimmy's vain that he wants everybody to enjoy the.
No, I was doing something, but I didn't think you guys would be able to see it. Usually you shouldn't be able to, but you did. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, everybody saw it. That's what came up on the screen for now. Everybody at home too. So the reason that they drew a rating is the same reason I said they were going to draw a rating, because they draw ratings when they put an advertised title match in a main event.
True.
And do you think anybody cares that it was called Beach Break? They came in to see if Kenny Omega was going to beat MJF. That's why they tuned in. Simple as that. I'd be surprised You know, that's not
I
the
don't know.
first
I
thing
don't know
on
about
anybody's mind.
I don't know about the if vet. I think it was just it's been preordained. It's been pre-planned. We've been talking about this for months.
Well, they wanted to see it. They wanted to see it happen.
Yeah.
Whether they believed it was preordained or not. They tuned in to witness. When you tell people there's a championship match and you tell them ahead of time, they will tune in. This has happened throughout the entire history of the company.
Well, we have to go back into the files with all the other ratings of the other championship matches this past year. I don't know. I mean, popping a rating is one thing. I agree with you, Vet, on the popping the rating thing, but this is higher than maybe the Darby Allin title matches. This is higher than, you know, other championship matches that we've seen. That's the only thing. I think there's a difference. Is Kenny Omega the needle mover for that? That's the thing.
Yeah, maybe it's because they felt this preordained. Maybe they tuned in to see what they expected to see. Maybe they didn't expect to see Darby Allin do it. You know, they certainly wouldn't have expected to see, you know, somebody like a Brody King or whoever, you know, but I can assure you that no matter what the reason, it's not because they called it beach break.
It's definitely not why they called it. Yeah, no, that's true. 100%. But it did have I don't want to say, it didn't feel like Dynamite. It actually felt more of a special kind of show, which is a good thing. And it didn't go for 3 hours. But I wanted to ask you guys, and I hope I'm wrong, right? But what was that show between Collision and Dynamite? That wasn't on television, was it?
What do you mean?
The ballpark show, whatever. Brawl at the ballpark.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, thank fucking God. When I was seeing that on Collision, the highlights, whatever, I'm like, oh, if I missed the show and I didn't even know about it, that sucks. So that was just a house show, right, boys?
It was a untelevised, maybe like a charity kind of event too. Something for the Minnesota Twins, where they had a show inside the stadium. And it was but it was essentially a house show. It was not televised or streamed.
All right, good. Thank God. Because I'm thinking, if I missed that damn shit and I didn't even know about it, God damn it. So I was going to apologize.
I would have said it had Jeff Jarrett written all over it, but he does AAA ballparks, not Major League ballparks.
Did you guys watch the Dark Side of the Ring Jeff Jarrett episode yet, the TNA one? I highly recommend it, Vet. That is one of the best ones. I'm surprised I'm saying that. I truly think, Prof, you can attest to this or not. One of the better Dark Side of the Rings in a long time.
It was a good episode, but again, it's just a purveyor of truth on one end. It's Jeff Jarrett's truth. It's Jeff Jarrett's side of the story. I think he has said a bunch of times he wanted Dixie to tell her side of the story to see where it goes. But, you know, I think she declined. And, you know, Russo was on it. Karen Jarrett's on it. So, you know, you'll get that kind of purveyor of truth. Yeah, that narrative on that side. And it's not like we don't know some of this history, Jimmy. Let's be honest.
Of course.
We know some of this history. And then, you know, it depends on how you look at it, because, you know, everything changed, or the start of the end. The narrative, Jimmy, was everything ended for TNA in 2010. That's it.
Yeah, I know that's true. Well,
who came in 2010? It was Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. The end of TNA happened there. So, you know that kind of history. You already know what that narrative is. 2010, Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff ended all the momentum for Jeff Jarrett and all the momentum for TNA. But, you know, hopefully this coming week, Jimmy, what is it? Is it another 2 hours? Whatever the case may be. But, you know, you got to talk about the management side. You got to talk about the Billy Corgan side, you know, all that stuff. And Jeff Jarrett's demons, you know, his alcoholic problems and shit like that. So it is what it is.
As you say, Prof, to be fair,
you
know, after 2010, it was no more TNA. It was Impact Wrestling. So technically, you know, you could say it was the death of TNA and the birth of Impact and the rebirth of TNA as we got it right now in many ways. But as I was saying,
well, again, I can also, to be fair, twice.
I like it.
Was the end of the 6 sides when they went back to 4.
Yes, 100%. So I agree with you on that.
You know, it's funny. Let me ask Vet on this, because of course he's been in those trenches. He probably knows those people and all that stuff. So when you saw the 6-sided ring, Vet, back in those days, in hindsight, were you thrilled about it? Did you thought it was too hokey? again, for the fans and for the narrative that from this dark side, it looks like, and I think if you talk to the original TNA fanatics, they like the ambiance of a 6-sided ring. But for the wrestler, the first time you see it, even on TV, what say you?
That wasn't even the first time I saw it. Which one of the Mexican promotions was doing it? AAA?
Oh, AAA. It was AAA was doing it, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just looked like they were copying AAA.
Which they were.
To me, that was my initial reaction. So I can't speak for what anybody else might have thought that only saw TNA do it. If you want to know what I thought when AAA did it, I just thought, well, that's something different. Because I know that not every lucha promotion uses a 6-sided ring either. So, it's just, to me, it's just something different. It's not as important. It matters more to the wrestlers that have to work in it, I think, than it matters to any other fan, because it presents its own set of weird challenges, especially if you're used to, because nobody trains in 6-sided rings. So no matter where you come from, you got to get used to it. But the fans aren't really thinking about that. They're just looking at the visual. I don't know why you would immediately get turned off by it. It just seems like those are the kind of people, that's the evolution of the kind of people we hear now that only want to complain about anything, regardless if it makes sense or not, or if they're really upset about it or not. They just want to complain publicly. So I don't know how much it really mattered to the people back then, or if they just wanted to shit on it just because. But I think the idea that Jeff would have is that it's eye-catching in the sense that, you're going to be curious about it. Oh, this ring looks weird. Let me stop on this. Maybe it's something like that. Mm-hmm. So, but for me personally, I just took it at face value. Like, oh, they work in a ring like this. Okay, great. It never once was a consideration whether I should watch the show or not.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'll just say this, Jimmy. TW, my partner on The Reflection, always looked at the 6-sided ring more of a psychology basis. Like, when you go off the ropes, 1, 2, and then step vet and all that stuff. And now you got to look at it from another hexagonal aspect of it and all that stuff. He's like, on the psychology wise, it's just moving to the ropes one side to another. It's easier, 4-sided. But then with the 6 sides, psychology wise, like, oh, what the fuck I got to do? I got to really like hone in my steps and shit like that.
That's part of it, the mechanics of it, but also in the psychology, it's also okay. I'm throwing you to the corner, so I've got several corners to choose from. How am I going to choose this corner versus this corner? They're not that far apart. Why do I decide to choose one or the other? And if you're in psychology wise, if I'm being thrown to the buckle, why do I want to keep going to the buckle? I could just move over and hit the ropes and come back with a clothesline or something. Like, there's a lot of things like that, but again, that's for us,
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Wonder is going to think about that as a wrestler. I'm going to think about those things as a wrestler. The fans are barely going to think about it. You know what I mean? They're just going to look at it and just, oh, it's 6 sides.
Yeah, do people
either take it or leave it?
Do people put too much of a thing on that 6-sided ring where that defined TNA? Like, that's what TNA was. And I feel like people overblow that.
Did you watch,
too much.
Jimmy, in all intents and purposes, did you watch the first Impact with Hogan and Bischoff?
Absolutely, I did. Yeah, I did.
Do you remember those people in the Impact Zone once they were in the ring with the 4 sides? What did they say? We want 6 sides.
Yeah, they were chanting that, exactly.
They were chanting that. So, whether it was fake or not, I'm just saying, on TV, the first, edict of Hogan and Bischoff being in the ring, and the fans just said, we want 6 sides. They said it. They wanted it.
Fair point. That's a fair point. Also, apparently to the wrestlers, it was a lot stiffer, the 6-sided ring. They actually hated, most wrestlers didn't like the 6-sided ring due to how stiff apparently it was. I could imagine psychology-wise, as you put out, Vet, would have been a mind fuck at the time for some wrestlers, which I never thought about that at the time, which is actually a great point that you guys were talking about, because I would have never thought about it like that, unless you were a wrestler, of course, which I wasn't. But now that you laid it out like that, it makes total sense.
In a 4-sided ring, steel cable ropes, like the ones that are actually like WCW. Basically
Right.
everybody except WWF.
Except WWE. Yeah.
Yeah, they all use the elevator cable with rubber casing over it. And those things are like hitting a wall.
Wow.
Like it does not give. And that's a 4-sided ring. Now
Imagine
you give
6.
even less. You cut the distance and you cut the slack on the
It'll be
ropes.
tighter.
Dude, I wouldn't even do no spots off the ropes.
Shit.
I'm like, we're not running tonight, brother. No fucking way.
Yo, I could only imagine.
And the same thing, like you said, Jimmy, with the ring being stiff too, because
Right.
the boards are shorter. They have the wooden boards under it's basically got like the wooden boards, or they got the steel frame. They lay the wooden boards on top of that. They lay the foam
canvas.
rubber on top of that. Then they lay the canvas and pull it over on top of that, right? So you got about an inch of foam rubber in between the boards. And the boards are so long that, in the middle of the ring, when you take the bump, they give a little bit. There's the sort of bend in the wood, right? But if the boards are shorter, there's less room for it to bend. So the same reason why you don't want to take a bump in the corners of the ring or on the apron and stuff, or like even inside the ring on the apron side, like just next to the ropes or things.
Right.
It's extra hard there because that's right where the board lays into the steel frame. So it don't move, right? You want to be in the middle taking bumps. So now having a 6-sided ring, it's like almost all corner. Like anywhere in the ring is like taking a bump in the corner. It hurts.
I could only imagine, man. But yeah, that was we spoke quite a bit about TNA there for the first time. I'm sure you guys will talk about it maybe on Monday night on the Drew Carey Impact Edition, Impact Attack Edition.
I bet you he won't.
He probably won't.
I bet you he won't.
Yeah, he probably won't. But anyway, let's get into some news, fellas, shall we? Before we put our gloves on and our bathing suits on, because it is Rhea Ripley revealing she's been dealing with a meniscus tear injury and a return timeline being up in the air. Ripley and her husband and AEW talent Buddy Matthews were in attendance at Friday night's Power Slap event in Las Vegas, Nevada. We'll get into that in a moment too. Nina Jaime held an interview with Ripley at the show. One of the topics discussed included Ripley revealing that she has been dealing with a meniscus tear in her knee. She says, I hurt my knee. I got a slight tear in my meniscus. It's just healing. It's getting there. It's getting stronger. I just can't bend it very well. It's got to bend, guys. She also gave her thoughts about a recovery from injury and a potential timeline for an in-ring return. She goes on to say, I don't know. I tore it in a really weird spot. It's kind of a little up in the air with how fast my body recovers. I've been out just over a month now. It feels better and starts to throb. I can't get up or bend down really slow or kind of move side to side while crouching. We'll see how it goes. Vet, I want to ask you, should they strip the title off her, or do you think they'll just keep it on her for now, between now and her coming back?
They don't. I mean, look, we're so far from pretending that there's any semblance of professionalism or sporting event in any of this.
They do strip him though.
Circus bullshit. Yeah, I don't think it matters. It's not a case of like, oh well, we gotta have the title defended. Come on, you got 3 other ones to choose from. Pick one of the women's mid belts and the other women's belt.
Now,
you know what I mean? Or the tag belts. Like, focus on that until Rhea's knee gets better. Is what I would say.
Great point.
So yeah, but everybody looks like they're kind of, Liv Morgan barely does anything. When she does, Sol Ruca's hurting her. It's like, I think she got fucked up worse on that headbutt thing before WrestleMania than they were letting on.
Yeah, that was
she knocked heads with Raquel and stuff, and
and Roxanne too got a big ass lump on her head as well.
Oh yeah, Roxanne. Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, so that happened. They both probably got concussed into
oblivion
today. They're just now getting out of it. So the whole thing's been a mess, but I don't think it matters stripping the title off Rhea Ripley or not. It's just one of those things. No shade on Rhea. It just shows the difference in where we're at, Professor. Like today, it's like, yeah, that's right. Heal up your meniscus tear. And then, 30, 20, even 10 years ago would have been like, better wrap that shit up and get in the ring.
I think it just depends, guys, if how serious it is, and what Jimmy read off of it sounds more serious than maybe even WWE anticipated. I think people were just waiting for SummerSlam to see where we were at. She was going to get, she was going to do her match and stuff like that. But if it was worse than that, I don't want to be that stickler vet, but you could have did some kind of right. You could have written her off. The baddies and Jay could have written, done something behind in the locker room in the parking lot, and then Nick Aldis could have said that we are forced to strip her of the belt because she can't contractually defend her belt every 30 days. You could have had SmackDowns with a gauntlet, or Fight for the Fullest. We could have had that on WWE television. That's favorite match. You have the women to do it, and they chose not to. They chose to play the waiting game, and now they're stuck for it. And people want to see mommy on TV.
I want to see mommy on TV, but here's the thing. I will say this again, no shade, just the facts. Rhea has been known to take a mental health break from time to time.
That's a fact.
And rightly so, because when you're being stalked and assaulted all the time, whatever, by these marks, it's not for everybody. On top of whatever issues she already had in her fucked up mind, that transformed her from, what she was into what she is, or any other things that she's gone through in her, in her transition to superstardom. So let's face it, Jimmy, she's from your basic neck of the woods, just a nice girl, wants to get into wrestling, and now she's one of the most recognizable people in the world. Not everybody can deal, so these things they're just reality. And we can all say, suck it up, princess, but it's not that easy.
Right. No, absolutely not. And it's no secret that she gets homesick a lot, man. They let her go back home. It feels like 3 times a year at least, maybe even more. She does go back and forth between the US and back here in Australia pretty frequently every few months.
Correct me if I'm wrong. One of those mental health breaks was, I think they were body shaming her a bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were, dude.
She was losing a lot of, weight or something like that. She looked skinnier than before, and then
she's got an eating disorder. Apparently,
that was the eating. But I think it was the body shaming too that forces her to take a mental health break too.
Well, there's all kinds of things, and this isn't even new. Like this goes back to when she was in NXT.
She had a nervous breakdown in NXT, dude, about wanting to go back home, and Triple H had to calm her down basically, and
So this is just the level of maintenance that you have to deal with when you're talking about a big star. It's, some people can handle it. Other people don't handle it as well. And WWE has to weigh out what it's worth to them. Apparently, they think she's worth it. I would tend to agree.
She is, absolutely. She's carved herself out as a major star, obviously, even compared to the men and women in WWE and all of professional wrestling, for sure. But, Prof, you got anything else to say before I move on?
No, you can move on.
All right. Well, in other news, back now onto AEW. Scorpio Sky provides update on his AEW contract status. Not that anyone cares, but I guess it is news.
You said it, so I didn't have to.
I'm actually glad you said that. I'm like, wait, this is news?
Well, I just want to say this, all right? And I'm not even going to go into it. I know no one cares, neither do I, but I'm going to say it anyway. His contract is coming up and is set to expire like in the next couple of months. So I don't think Tony Khan will be re-signing him, and I guess he'll be long gone into the abyss of pro wrestling indie scene.
So wait, whatever. Jimmy, what you're saying is Skyflight's going to be renamed to Seidel Flight? Is that what you're going to tell me?
Yeah, it'll be Seidel Flight. I mean, why not? Might as well.
It rolls off the tongue. How many nights Seidel Flight? I thought you were going to talk about the important contract that was signed. Dark Order. They signed. I don't even...
Wait, they did?
Yeah, they re-signed.
No way, bro.
Yes, all of them.
You're fucking kidding me.
I swear.
Why the hell? Honestly, now I don't watch Ring of Honor. You do, right?
Still in it? Did she ever get out of it? I don't remember.
Oh, she got out of that, but it was just the three. It's the three guys. Silver,
little dick sucking guy, and the big guy,
and the mask guy, and Reynolds. Is it Reynolds? I forget, but
Reynolds,
those three guys.
All three of them.
Yeah.
Are they on Ring of Honor frequently, Prof?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
They have to.
Fair enough.
Because we haven't seen him
thanks. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking you. Like, I haven't seen him at all. J12 says Buddy Murphy went to see his former coworker Hager get knocked out at Power Slam. Now let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, is that
boys.
the transition? Let's go.
Wow. I mean, I saw the highlights. I didn't watch the whole event, but yes, they were there to see that. But God damn it.
And TNA worthy, Vet. The person who slapped him was Malabali Shira.
Yeah.
Now that's a Drew Carey.
Him to oblivion
moment right there. That's a Drew Carey moment right there.
It's about time he threw a strike that even came close to connecting.
This slapping thing is getting a little ridiculous. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't just sit there and hoping I don't get knocked out with a friggin' slap. Do you agree with this power slap bullshit? It's starting to get big. But do you think it's ridiculous?
Agree.
Yeah, well, I don't agree with it personally.
They're doing it. It's not a matter of agreeing.
Yeah, well, right. But no, but in all seriousness, like, would
people do look, you know, I don't have an opinion on it, a strong opinion about whether they should or shouldn't be doing it. I can just tell you I wouldn't do it. I can't tell you whether they should do it, dude. I see guys in medieval suits of armor get in the octagon and fight MMA, dude. What am I going to complain about slapping? Have you guys seen that, right? You think?
No, man, I haven't. I've never seen that shit. Is this legit?
You saw that, right?
Slap? Yeah, I've seen it.
No.
Professor's
busy. He's multitasking. Okay, let me say it again.
I'm sharing our content on Facebook right now.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, have you seen this content? Jimmy was asking if I agree with Power Slap. I'm like, I don't care about Power Slap. They can do what they want because there's ridiculous stuff out there all over the world that we can't stop. I said, I've seen them do medieval suit of armor MMA. What the hell am I going to say about power slapping? How am I going to do whatever you want?
But at least medieval times, you get a good meal out of it too.
No, but he's talking about legit now. Like
giant turkey leg, a flagon of mead.
Yeah.
You know what? Obscure sports, guys, is a thing. That's why they created ESPN The Ocho. You know, you're going to see the most obscure sports out there. No matter what. And now Power Slap is one of the best obscure sports, you know.
And you know what else is growing too, boys? I don't know if you've seen this one, but there's also one where they hip and shoulder each other and whoever drops. So they basically run from one end to the other, like both of them, and just boom. What's worse, that or freaking Power Slap? They get knocked out too with that big time.
You know what I love in Russia? Russia does this with at least
with that multi-man MMA.
Yeah, the multi-man Royal Rumble UFC. I mean, only Russia can do that. And especially the three midgets against one tall dude. Oh, that's a great shit. Why don't Dana White bring that?
Man. Right. Well, so the point is, Power Slap seems very normal.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's fucking. Wait a minute, cold blooded. A friend of yours does medieval MMA. What the fuck is the point of this bullshit?
To get money, to get paid, to make a living.
Come on.
Jimmy, nobody wants to work in a cubicle. That's the thing. Nobody wants to go to the office for a 9 to 5. So if you want to make money out of medieval MMA, that's your dream. Let them live the dream.
I'm sure. Yosef wants to ask if AEW works with JCW, would they get more casual fans? Absolutely not. And I mean that in a good way, Yosef. Why would they get extra casual fans when JCW is very niche in the first place?
Trying to ask if AEW would get a rub off JCW?
It wouldn't happen. It would be the other way.
Is that what he's trying to ask?
I assume so, yeah. I guess.
I thought it was the other way around. I think JCW needs AEW for their fans to double it.
Look, do you guys think if AEW works with JCW, they'll get... Wait, that is a trick question, right? The way I'm assuming he means AEW. Right, Yosef? Correct me if I'm
thinking
wrong.
it's the other way. I think it's JCW getting the rub off of AEW's.
Well, yeah, they will get
that would make sense.
Yes.
Right.
But I'm asking because of who's asking the question.
Anyway, yeah, let us know, Yosef, in the chat. But if you mean AEW, no, they wouldn't do nothing for them. Maybe a few juggalos will tune in. And I mean that literally a few. But other than that, I doubt it. I'm sure you boys would feel the same way. But if it was the other way around, absolutely it would do wonders for JCW. But we'll see what happens. He meant JCW rub off AEW. So yeah, of course they'd get a rub. 100%. That would be a huge rub if they ever work together. But anyway.
I can imagine Tony Khan dressed as an insane clown posse and, blonde his hair up and get some makeup. It works.
I can see that too.
That's a triple threat.
weird ass reason. Let's see if there's any other news before we put our beach stuff on. Well, we called about Baron Corbin, unfortunately, coming back, but he's back. I'm sure you guys have nothing to say about that. And if you do, please feel free.
You mean old $0 himself?
Yep, he's back, bro. He came back on SmackDown.
I checked the demos, Vet. That shit popped. 2 million saw that, and it was just the greatest moment.
Really?
2 million saw it.
2 million.
You're kidding.
Of course I'm kidding. What are you talking
about? Oh, good.
We saw that shit. Look, bro. We just got done getting rid of a lot of dead weight in WWE. And some of that weight was actually useful. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
You know, this is what happened, okay? This is what happened. They let his ass go, rightly so. Okay? He goes to MLW, does his thing. Okay? Now he can come back and they'll be like, we can't pay you near what we were paying you before, but anything's better than what MLW's paying you. So you might as well take it because you got other opportunities there that MLW can't give you. So if you can add a little bit more to your guarantee, you know, if you think one person wants to buy that Baron Corbin shirt, okay, then that's one more shirt than you would have sold. So I definitely, you know, can understand from that aspect. But I think I would have just rather saved everybody the time and, you know, when he gets released in 2 more years again, and we could have saved that money and put that towards something else.
I agree. I'm not the biggest Corbin fan. Sorry, Prof. I'm just not, man.
People have spoken.
Neither is he.
The hashtags have worked.
You better
bring back Corbin. Bring back Corbin. I mean,
nobody ever did that. No one said that.
Can I ask you another question, boys? Now, what I'm reading is a bit weird, but can someone tell me if Dakota Kai was into women or not? Allegedly. Well, guess what? Her and Carl Fredericks, formerly Eddie Thorpe, are engaged. They announced their engagement, so congratulations to them, which is shocking to me.
Congratulations to Carl Fredericks because he married a bisexual. Oh, that bedroom's going to be popping.
Yeah. I just had to put it out there because I could have sworn everyone was saying she was lesbian. And you're right about the Evil Order re-signing, as I'm looking at right now, Prof. Not that you were lying. I just wanted to point it out. And in one more piece of news, because everything else just feels like garbage, WWE reportedly concerned over lower than expected SummerSlam 2026 ticket sales. Prof, I'll go to you. Is this all hoopla? Is this all bullshit, basically? How do we know if they're concerned? I don't know what the numbers are exactly, but is it as bad as what people are pretty much reporting?
Okay, if you want to do the math, right? The stadium seats 70,000. Now, if I want to do the 2-day thing, they've sold at least about 42,000 tickets for the 2 nights.
That's
about 22,000 a night. Now, here's the problem. The problem is the oversaturation of the stadiums. Wrestling does not need, well, especially WWE, they should not consider their big 4 only WrestleMania. This is all I'm talking about. Only WrestleMania is worthy enough of a stadium show. I'm not saying 2 nights. I'm not talking about 2 nights. I'm just saying the stadium thing. Now, for WWE, we know what they've done. And I've always said they've done too little. They give you like 3 or 4 matches and they stretch that shit out for 3 hours. That's not, you don't feel like you're getting paid anything. So now they want to do a 2-night SummerSlam thing. Here's the problem with the thing, because at least with WrestleMania, and you can follow me here, what do they do for WrestleMania? They do a week-long celebration, convention center, the awards, the Hall of Fame. You put all that together, and of course, the other indie shows are capitalizing on that. You do a stadium show for Royal Rumble. You do a stadium show for SummerSlam. You do a stadium show for Survivor Series. You're taking that ambiance away from what WrestleMania brings. So it doesn't need a stadium. I understand making money, but you know me, I can be capitalistic like anybody else. I'm just being nuanced. And, you know, again, TKO has raised the prices. They always talk about the market. Well, the market, there's always a bubble burst in the market. So right now, doesn't matter about the card. The card is okay. The card is decent. I'm interested in the matches. I'm interested in the Hell in the Cell. I'm interested in Roman and Seth and Cody and Punk. but is it worth paying $2,000 on floor seats? No. And Scott, if Scott Wolfer's in the chat, I apologize, Scott, but who the hell wants to go to Minnesota? What the fuck you want to do in Minnesota? Unless I want to go to a Twins game, a Vikings game, that's it. I want to tour Minnesota? I'm sorry. I'm just saying. If I want to spend my money, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to California. What the fuck am I going to do in Minnesota? I'm sorry, Scott. I love you. I love you. Oh, if I want to go to Minnesota, I want to hang out with Scott Woodford. Yes, I want to hang out with him. I want to hang out with Michael Davis. I want to hang out
I was going to say that. I was going to say that.
What the fuck am I going to do in Minnesota, man? I'm sorry.
Oh, well, you could go when you go see that Twins game, you could also stay for an AEW house show.
Yeah.
Too. I could do that.
You could do that. So there's something. But I mean, you're pretty much right. But I thought, but guys, I thought that it's Brock Lesnar's hometown, and he's
Not
retiring,
anymore.
and everybody's gonna go see Brock Lesnar retire in his hometown of Minneapolis, where he totally lives and has lived for many, many years. Of course, all his friends and family will be there to see him retire.
Not one of them will be there.
Or is that AI? That sounds like an AI Twitter troll voice right there. That was beautiful. I'm just
Pretty good. See, you don't. Sometimes you could still just do it yourself the old-fashioned way.
Of course you can.
You can. It's true.
Yeah,
Very
it
true.
just everything. I don't have much to add on what Professor said because I agree with that. It's just we know why this started. It started because they couldn't fill up any fucking stadiums when the world was shut down. So they had to get double the nights in the same place, and in a way to recoup costs and to keep the distancing and stuff. But now that bullshit's all over with, they're still doing it because apparently they think that they generate more revenue by having 2 shows rather than one big show with one big crowd. And I'm sure they have people who it's their job to weigh out whether it's going to be more cost effective to do that. Because you get 2 nights worth of ticket sales that might be bigger than just one night of ticket sales, but then you also have to run the production costs 2 times. It satellite and everything, all those trucks and everything.
And they want to save money, they say, right? Idiots.
Right. So, I mean, they must have figured it out that it was more financially viable for them to do it this way. And I think for some events like SummerSlam, it may not be hyped up to the fans as much as WrestleMania, but I do think they get in town early and do some stuff, here and there. So
but Vet, I'm just saying, like WrestleMania, you know how they do the week, the convention centers, they just make it feel bigger. You don't need, because if you oversaturate even that market, more people don't want to go.
But
they hope for the tourism. Minnesota's hoping for the tourism of the wrestling fans to come in and spend their money. I get that part,
but it's not oversaturated if you're in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in Minnesota, you haven't had a big event like a WrestleMania, and you're not gonna. So this is your WrestleMania. So I don't think to them it'd be oversaturating. I think instead it's just a case of like people are like
you actually brought a conspiracy theory,
but.
They got shafted from WrestleMania. This is just putting my tinfoil hat on. Maybe they just don't want to pay. They don't want to pay for it. Like, you're going to give us the crumbs of SummerSlam and you took a WrestleMania away from us and gave it to Saudi Arabia? Okay, I'm just saying. Put it out there.
No, that wasn't WrestleMania. That wasn't Minneapolis. Minneapolis wasn't going to get
there was reports. Yeah, there was reports that they were going to get WrestleMania. They were planning to get it.
Maybe they bid on it. I don't think it was ever ordained that they would get a WrestleMania. But regardless of that, that's the people aren't the people that would care to go buy tickets to a big wrestling show are not going to be spiteful because their town didn't get it. It's coming to your town now. Do you want to go or not? I think the issue is you have, to your point, Professor, about the 2 nights and how we don't need that. What night do I buy a ticket to if I can only afford it? I'm going to wait because we're talking about ticket sales now when we're a couple weeks out.
They're going to be dead cheap.
Until you tell me what matches I'm going to get on what night, maybe I don't want to buy a ticket. If I can only afford one, I want to know which one is the best one for me to go to. Now, if I can't afford
which match I want, or which match I want.
Match you want. What night's it going to be? So you got to tell me that before. Of course, the tickets are going to be slow when you didn't tell nobody nothing.
That's true.
What are you buying a ticket to? So you have to, all the people that, have bought the tickets already, obviously they must be the whales that are going to go to both nights and they don't care how much it costs. But for the average Joe who might just get this one chance to be SummerSlam, it's like, well, I got to make this count. I don't want to buy a ticket for one night and then the people I want to see be on the other night. So we'll probably see an uptick in sales the closer we get to it. And with all the other things that they've shown us as far as, we've had all these quiet sales of tickets, 50% off or special 2-for-1s or whatever shit. Always. And people are going to wait. Now that you've shown that you're going to do that, people are going to wait to see if you're going to do it again for SummerSlam.
And they will do it again for SummerSlam, as they did for WrestleMania, where a lot of people actually got tickets very cheap towards, the show. Like the last week of the show, the prices were completely different. It was like night and day, from thousands to a couple of hundred. You can't go wrong by waiting, especially with those type of ticket sales. I think a lot of people, as you said, Vet, if they don't know exactly what's going to be on the card fully, why would they buy a ticket earlier?
I'll make a prediction right now. Okay, take it or leave it. But whatever night they make sure to announce that Brock is wrestling on, I believe you'll see a huge uptick in sales on that night. Like, I believe that night will outsell the other night.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if it's a title match, like say Roman Reigns is involved on night 2, and say Brock and Oba the main event of night 1, do you think you'll still outsell?
They may end up similar, but what I'm saying is the uptick in sales will go for the Brock night, and then the other one will have to catch up to it.
Okay, interesting. I agree with that. It's actually
if I would go with that formula, I would save Hell in a Cell for night 2 for the Brock uptick.
You do that for
because obviously the Roman Reigns, no matter what, Roman Reigns is a night 2 main eventer. He's not night 1. He's not doing night 1.
No, absolutely not. Right.
Even though Punk has the better belt and the more prestigious belt, but Roman Reigns is going to dictate night 2. So I would rather put that and Roman as part of my package, and then I pay my ticket for night 2. That's my humble prediction there.
Interesting.
And just quietly, I think if there's ever a 2-night event of sorts, I think Royal Rumble would be the one to do it. Only because of the women's and the men's rumbles, I think that would work, in my opinion. But
but I think before we start sifting, because there's nothing, I'll go with the stadium thing, because again, there's an oversaturation of stadium shows. But
way too many. You're right.
I just want to say this for the Jaime Nice again, because I am the professor. There were stadium shows in the 70s and 80s, but if you check those attendances. Because today's sickos and e-drones on Twitter, that I love this stuff on Twitter, but, they forget their history. But those stadium shows, not all those stadium shows were sellouts either in the 80s, 70s, and 80s.
No.
Super Clash 85, I'm going to use that as a great example. Because people talk about, the card sucks, or the card, where's the story? There's no heat in this story.
It's not the stories about all the promotions together.
No. But Super Clash 85, you had Ric Flair on the card. You had Road Warriors on the card. You had the Freebirds on the card. You had a Von Erich on the card. They didn't sell out Comiskey Park, guys. So, again, pick your poison. What lane are you going to be in? But you had a stacked card of Super Clash 85. You had a stacked roster of people all conjoining, and they still couldn't sell out in the Martar's logic today. They didn't sell out Comiskey Park, but it was still electric. It was still a good show. And of course, other places like Great American Bash tours in the stadiums, not all of those were configured to sell out the whole goddamn stadium, but they configured it enough, but it was still a great ass show. That's all I'm just saying. People got to get away from this whole, the numbers. Let WWE worry about their numbers. Let AEW worry about their numbers. But at least let the fans enjoy the ambiance and the electricity of a great event.
No, I agree with that. It's like WCW doing their things at the Georgia Dome, Nitros at Georgia Dome, but they never configured it to sell out the whole place. It was just like 30,000-40,000 out of I think it used to hold.
No. The Georgia Dome was a mistake, though. You had Goldberg. You had Goldberg undefeated, and that Georgia Dome was a nitro. If they did the Georgia Dome for his first as a pay-per-view, we would have had a different conversation. It would have been a sellout. We would have had a different conversation, and they didn't capitalize on that. But go on, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
They were idiots anyway. They were just desperate to win a week in the ratings at the time as they were going down during that time. But Vet, you look like you were about to say something. Were you about to say something?
No, I was just gonna say that if you wanted to sell out Comiskey Park, you needed Rogers and O'Connor. That's how you do it again. Yeah.
Of course.
And
2 out of 3 falls. Damn it. Yeah.
Before we
Real
move
wrestling
on-
when wrestling was real.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I just want to also report that Jim Ross is scheduled to undergo brain surgery. From all of us here at HMG, I hope he gets better soon and gets out of that really good, because that seems pretty full on for him to get brain surgery at this age. And also, last but not least, boys, how do you guys feel about Sheamus now that he's leaving WWE? We're gonna see him in AEW, or you think he's done for good? Vet, what do you think?
I already talked about this on Wednesday, but yeah, I don't
okay.
care.
Okay, fair enough. Prof, do you care?
Well, if he joins the Death Riders, I'm sold.
Oh no, and reunite the bar.
Of course.
Oh God, for sure. Like
as long as Sheamus,
Damn, it's so shameful that FTR is on hiatus now.
Yeah, I know.
True.
As long as Sheamus shaves his mohawk off, I'm good with it. Let him join the Death Riders. Let him be another. What, Sheamus O'Toole? Is that going to be his AEW name?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, shit. Actually, could you call him Sheamus? Because that is his real name, isn't it?
No,
his name is something else. I forget.
Oh, what was it? What was his real
Stephen
name?
Farrelly.
Oh, that's it. That's the one. Steven. Just Steven. God damn it. Anyway.
Oh my God, it's Stephen Farrelly. He is in AEW. He's all in me.
That make me laugh or start choking fucking. Oh, and
what else is Excalibur? Wait, Jimmy, what else is Excalibur going to say? Stephen Farrelly. Oh my God. He's all elite, guys.
That would pop me though.
He ain't going to debut at Beach Break, that's for sure.
All right, let's sip, man. I got the trunks. I got my trunks on. I got my gloves on. Let's go. Let's go.
I've got my bucket and my little spatula
shovel.
Yeah, the sand shovel. What was I gonna say? And what up to the Hammer who just joined us? What up, bro?
Hammer.
The Hammer. So I'm leaving it to you, Vet. It's all
right.
yours, man.
All right, it's Beach Break Dynamite, like you all see here. We get the wonderful graphics.
We're at the beach. We're at the beach.
That's right. Renee is asking Kenny for his final comments, and Kenny's basically saying to MJF, well, if you're not prepared to kill me in the ring tonight, then I guess I'm going to be the AEW champion. Basically, I'm shortening this by a lot. And
that's right.
I'm definitely accidentally sounding way cooler than he did when he was saying it.
That's true too.
But yeah, just so that's where we're at. We're actually kicking it off with a hot feud of Tommaso Ciampa versus Jericho.
That was the first time they fought each other. That's the thing.
Yes.
It is. Ooh.
Yes.
I hated the style of the match. It was fucking dumb. Made both of them look like idiots.
Can I say something before we talk about the match, man? I'll just say this because, like I said, at the end of the day, no spoiler alert, Jaime Nice. We talked about it was going to be Omega.
Yeah, we said it. Absolutely,
we've been saying this for months, but I just want to get your opinion on this because, again, the story, even though it was predictable, we saw the match coming. Because like I always said for the last 6 months, Tony Khan has a hard-on for the match he wants to see in a certain venue. So he wanted to see that.
So we're talking about Jericho and Ciampa, right? That's what we're talking about?
No. We're talking about Omega. We're talking about Omega.
Why are we talking about that now? We need to talk about that when we talk about it.
But I just say because of the important thing here is that Omega, for the last couple of months, guys, I guess the story was, does he have it still in him? Is he still the best Bout Machine? Is he still the cleaner? That's the thing right now. So what I'm trying to say here is this. Is that enough heat to get us into All In? That's all I'm going to say. Go ahead, Ben.
Us meaning us three or us as in the collective AEW audience?
We could be all of that. We could be all of the collective. We represent the collective.
Well, look, I was on record months ago before this was even a question of whether Kenny was going to be in it. I said, put MJF in Wembley Stadium because that's the guy everybody wants to see get his ass kicked. I said that months ago. You could check the tapes. And they went ahead and did what they did. So I don't give a fuck what they do or what. Nothing's going to get me into it. I saw these guys wrestle twice. Kenny and Will. I hated it. I hated both of them.
There's a preview.
It's ridiculous. Screwdrivers
later.
and shit. Like this is where the screwdriver shit came from with Don Callis and all that.
And there was more heat for those two matches than the match is going to come up. That's all I'm just trying to say.
Right. And nobody was passing belts around back then either. Now this hot potato belt is like completely cooled off. So, anyways, Ciampa and Jericho, Professor, what'd you think?
Well, you know what? I saw a 3 years old wrestling. I don't know. I don't know how I can explain it any simpler because again, I love Jericho. You know, you can't forget the 30 years he's done in this business, Jimmy and Bet, but you saw 53 years old and Ciampa carried this match. I kind of like Judas gets played out, but I like that he came out from the other side of the beach and attacked Ciampa from behind. But then you get a little bit too, I don't know, ECW-ish and too CCW by using pails and buckets and shit like that. So that gets a little bit to my taste, but I understood the ambiance of why they wanted to use the beach, Jimmy, as part of the match. But, you know, for today's sickos, they loved it. It was entertaining. I don't know, for Meltzer, maybe it was, you know, maybe 4.25 stars for him for his liking, but it is what it is for that. But a 53-year-old wrestler showed himself on Wednesday. I don't think that was a good thing.
Who, by the way, Meltzer is the reason that we even talk about attendance and shit like that, like the stuff we were talking about right before this with the stadiums and stuff like that. Meltzer's reporting attendance and shit like anybody ever cared before that. Jimmy, you said you didn't like it when Ciampa got outsmarted at the beginning.
Oh, I'm sorry, 55. God damn it.
Yeah, sorry, I was shocked in too. But yeah, Ven, I didn't like it because, you know, it's funny that Prof brings up, you know, CZW, ECW kind of thing. That's a good point, but I look at it from, I agree with you, but it was more hokey ECW, CZW type of shit, if you know what I'm saying. And that's how it came across. By Ciampa sitting there waiting like a dork, like waiting for Jericho to come from the front, you know, from the entrance, and then surprise, Jericho somehow. Like, how did he get to the other side without anyone seeing him anyway? Because they were in an open sort of place. They went in the arena, so he must have been.
It only mattered that Ciampa didn't see him.
All right, that's all that matters.
The only thing. And as far as look, you know, I hate this kind of match, right? But it wasn't even like it wasn't even like supposed to be like a hardcore match. It
wasn't.
It ends up being like whatever they feel like. The referees don't call shit anyway, so whatever. But at the very least, by doing it and starting the match that way, that gives you an excuse why you're up on the stage with all them props and everything.
Right.
Because there's nothing worse than when you start in the ring, in the middle of the ring, and then you end up just grabbing the guy around the shoulders and walking out there, like walking for like half a mile up to somewhere so that you could grab something, or going under the ring to have a bunch of stuff that you put there beforehand. You know, like, oh, look at this. I put a sack of what's in the sack. It's gummy bears this time.
Gummy bears. Yeah.
Remember when that happened? Yeah. So it's better to have use the stage decorations as weapons than to act like you premeditated the fact that you wanted to use a little pail or whatever. But
yeah, at least the chairs got it. You know, got it real good.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Well, yeah. After Ciampa does get the win, he just brains Chris Jericho with chair after chair after chair after chair after chair, and then he goes and gets the drill again, and security has to stop him from going after the Lucky Charms that Chris has inside his head.
Lucky Charm.
Yeah, like he was gonna do it. He was gonna kill him. Professor. He was gonna do it.
No, at least
he's a psycho killer. He finally decided to psycho kill somebody, and security stopped him.
At least he kept the gimmick going. That's all I was saying. But if this was,
or he started it, depending on your perspective.
That too. But at least in CCW, guys, that drill would have been used. It would have been in Jericho's head. They would have found a way to put it in Jericho's head. Prop or not.
Yeah, well, considering they jump off roofs and land on friggin' light fucking things into a friggin' truck, yeah, why not? Yeah. I'm just saying, Joe Janela, anyone?
Oh, no one. No
exactly.
Way. So Jimmy, you're going to be excited because if this wasn't enough brawling for you, guess who's coming back? The Brawling Birds are coming back.
They are.
With their little custom pub. They're back to brawling in their little custom pub.
Did they not afford good extras? Because it looked like they just beat up security without their shirts on.
That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you're gonna use security to try to stop Ciampa and the power drill, don't use the same security in a premiere for the Brawling Birds. It's like, what the hell?
You got to do it. It's like when you was a kid and you went to the Halloween, like doing trick or treat, and then you put on a different mask and went to the house and tried to get the candy bar again. You know, it's just that they think you're not. They think they're slick, but you know, we caught you. Brawling Birds still have the coldest theme in AEW though. If you haven't got to listen to that, go check that out. You could barely hear it on TV, but.
Yeah, because their audio sucks still. They can't get their shit right.
Terrible. But if you actually go listen to the Brawling Birds theme, you're like, shit, they don't deserve this. So Renee asks Will Ospreay for his thoughts on the main event, and MJF steps in to roast him, and he roasts Will Ospreay for a while, and then Will just says, well, you're not the greatest. So that's enough for MJF. So he spits on him. And then we have another brawl. So we've got back-to-back brawls and a pull apart. Security's working overtime. They gotta deal with Ciampa. They gotta deal with the custom pub. They gotta deal with MJF and Ospreay. Can they get a break tonight? This is supposed to be a fun party atmosphere, and everybody wants to kill each other for some reason.
Two words: hazard pay. Vet, hazard pay.
Oh. Perfect segue. Kyle Fletcher is back. Takeshita needs to request hazard pay because he's got to work Kyle Fletcher. And not only does he have to take all the bumps that Kyle Fletcher wants him to take in this match, he's got to drop that title to the kid. So,
well, there's a reason behind that. Actually, I think Vet.
Ooh, a reason you say?
Takeshita is part of the G1 Climax in New Japan right now, so he's going to be gone for a while. So that's probably why he dropped the belt.
That's fine. Well, we can understand that from the macro sense or the micro sense, but we're talking about the most dangerous wrestler in AEW, and that's Kyle Fletcher. And the move to win that again. Again, call me old school, but the evolution, I just want to make sure that everybody is safe. But Vet, what wrestling school is trying to teach that move? What wrestling school is teaching that move? I know it ain't the Nightmare Factory. I don't know Cody ain't doing that. I know it ain't a Dudley wrestling school. I can't wait to go to
I hope it wasn't down here, boys. That's what I'm saying.
Can't wait for the Kyle Fletcher wrestling school. I can't wait for the
Oh my God. Oh God!
Imagine that.
That's where you're gonna learn it.
Shit, that probably will happen eventually in the future. God damn.
Well, assuming Takeshita can still walk under his own power, Mick Foley does come out after though. He wants a word with Kyle Fletcher, and you know the Don Callis is in there and some family members shit, and Foley's like putting Kyle over, and then Don Callis disrespects Mick Foley. And then Foley literally threatens to kick his ass.
With his shoes that has his dogs on them.
Right. Yeah, he's saying that they're going to be up inside Don Callis's ass. And then the Jet says, I still want that AEW title, so whoever wins tonight, I'm coming for you. And then Andrade says he wants a belt too.
How you know?
Escúchame.
Yeah. And then Don Callis is like, well, can you beat Jake Doyle? And you got to beat Jake Doyle first, you know, to get a shot at, you know, whoever, Kyle or whoever. And he's like, how you know? And then
how'd you know?
Yeah. And then he baits the family to come to the back after him. So like a bunch of idiots, the Don Callis family chases Andrade to the back where they get
stupid.
They get ambushed by Darby Allin. And then Darby and Andrade fight the family and work to unleash the one of Darby's IEDs again, and it blows up on Brian Cage.
Oh, Professor has a problem. Professor has a problem.
Please, I think we all got problems after this.
What's the problem? It's just a little bomb, Professor. There's no reason. This is nothing the Wile E. Coyote couldn't handle.
The man who had who was the former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. The sickos will remind you that was one of the greatest and strongest title reigns in the history of wrestling in the last 25 years. Has now been reduced to bombs in his skateboard, bombs in his pockets and stuff like that.
What's going on? What's up with this new gimmick with the bombs, man? IEDs is perfect though. That's the best. But why, man? Like why?
I mean, I'm just saying he was the world champion. Now he's the Bomberman. I'm just saying.
Like the video game character.
Yeah. And then number 2, and again, this is me nitpicking, so I mean, I just excuse me on this. I'm not saying that I'm right about this, but the usage of Mick Foley vet. Now, is he going to be
coming back? You know it.
Yeah, I think we're seeing this, and I think you called this on the archives. I mean, he's going to train himself for this one match. Who is the perfect opponent for Mick Foley? I thought it was going to be MJF because of what happened in Double or Nothing. Now he's going to pick a fight with the Don Callis family, and there's more people to beat him down. So, is it going to be? I think it's going to be that Mick Foley and Darby thing, maybe meshing together, and I could see against Kevin Whitley. Let's talk about it, and maybe Brian Cage for Redemption or All In. I just see that. I thought
maybe Don Callis should lace the boots up again.
I can see that too. I can see that.
Well, after his head incident with John Moxley, I don't know if he wanted to even do anything in the ring.
I don't want to either. I don't want to see any of this shit.
Yeah,
bro, I don't want to see Brian Cage in the ring, let alone any of these washed up guys. Come on.
Yeah,
that'll end his career for good. You put him in there with, oh my God! Wait till we talk about the last match we get to see. Holy shit! Anyways, speaking of what I don't want to see, the Workhorseman. I told you this motherfucker Anthony Henry was fine. You know, I told you there was nothing wrong with him, and he's just out here now with his fat partner. Okay, getting him more TV time, and to take on Will Ospreay and John Moxley again. This was long. The Workhorseman pulling time on a special themed Dynamite is not. I guarantee you, this was not where any of the 773,000 came from. If anything, this could have contributed to a lower overall total. We might have got up to, I don't think it would be too conservative to say we could have got up over 800,000 if JD Drake had not been on this show.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
This was long. How long was this? Does anybody know?
This was almost 10 minutes. This was close to 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
Only?
Yes.
It felt way longer than that.
It felt like 10 minutes when I'm watching it on double speed.
I don't count the entrances, Jimmy. I don't count I think it was 10 minutes. But it's 10 minutes too long. This is the Death Riders. This is Billy Goat trying to make a statement, showing his aggressiveness. They should have beaten him 2 minutes flat.
But if you notice,
the Tiger Driver, he should have done the Tiger Driver or the Styles Clash in 2 minutes, and we would have had, and the crowd would have popped, and then you could see like the aggressiveness. Apollo Creed is training Billy Goat. Let's not forget this. This is the story that Vet's been saying. Right. Apollo Creed does not train you to do this. He does not train you for a 10-minute match with the Workhorseman. Now, if you want to do a 10-minute match with the Dark Order, maybe I can understand that one, but not the Workhorseman, not JD Drake.
Well, fun fact.
They're all freshly rehired and all.
Yes.
Well, there's a fun fact, and Jago actually reminded me of this. A shout out to Jago, even though I did hear the interview many years ago. But when Mox first left WWE and he was going around doing his interviews about how shit WWE was and all that, if you remember, he wanted to do this storyline, the Rocky 3 storyline, with Brock Lesnar back in WWE. He actually mentioned this in an interview with Wade Keller at the PW Torch. That's what he wanted to do, but WWE didn't allow him to do it, or Brock didn't want to do it at the time. And here it is. So it's not like he's hidden that. He's actually always wanted to do this storyline, and we got it now in AEW.
Because Brock was smart.
Yeah. 100%.
Brock had representation of Paul Heyman saying, this does not work for me, brother. Billy Goat's going to be like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, some people just won't let go of their whatever idea they have, they just won't let go of it. Like, how many times did you hear about Raven trying to do a 7 Deadly Sins storyline, or
Yeah.
how many times did you hear about how many times did Eric Bischoff try to do a We're Taking Over storyline, or how many times did the WWE try to do a evil authority figure storyline? Like, they just don't
At
give
least a million
up.
times.
Just give up, man. You know, but
Yeah, I
here we are.
agree. But well, yeah, that's it.
Hikaru Shida has a vignette. I don't think she had any creative input. I think she's just doing it, so that's good.
Yes, she did. She has now TBS stands for the best is she.
Oh yeah, that's right. The best.
She put all that work
into
her.
Someone wrote that for her.
For sure.
All right, well, we do have the Casino Gauntlet match.
Yeah.
With Tekla on commentary.
She was fucking funny as hell, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
She was burying everyone.
That's right. Well, they're all stupid bitches, Jimmy. So of course,
she even buried the creative, Jimmy. Let's not forget that.
She buried everyone and everything.
And
I don't blame her.
And the CEO was on the beach relaxing, you know, so she's taking it in up there. Tekla's taking it in down there. We start out with Athena and Maya. Okay, so we got that little whatever that is. Then we got Dark Sky.
Yeah.
Dark Sky.
Yep, she's next. Mina Shirakawa's after that. Rina's after that. Then Dark Julia.
Yeah.
Dark Julia is next.
Yeah, and you know who else was next? Justin Roberts getting assaulted by the Sisters of Sin. Why did they beat up Justin Roberts? I don't know. But security came out and was like, leave Justin Roberts alone. So they get beat up again. You know, security's having it rough tonight. They can't beat up anybody. Then Thunder Rosa comes out, and then surprise entrant Willow comes out.
Oh, surprise.
And hits the Dr. Bomb on Dark Julia and ends up winning the winning the shot at her own title back here. And then Tekla spears her, and then Divine Dominion comes out and takes out the sisters, and then Mercedes nails Tekla. So it's just a big old schmoz of stuff and people getting attacked and things and whatnot and what have you.
And then we get the worst announcement in the history of AEW next.
Wait, before we get to that announcement, I just want to let
Professor speak on this.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
He might have a problem. I don't know. Maybe.
Well,
right.
Number one, you know, Mercedes years ago had a bodyguard named Camille. I think, you know, just in case how many nights forgot. Yeah, Camille was a thing. So now you got two bigger women. I don't know if they're going to be her bodyguards, but hired help fine to take out other heels. Cool, you know, the Sisters of Sin. Maybe now you throw them a bone because, like I kept saying, the Sisters of Sin are the Sisters of Pins, eating pins.
Yeah.
So maybe. Just maybe this, but then you got the Brawling Birds. Maybe that might be a three-way. Who knows? But if you're gonna rehash the bodyguard thing, you know, just remember you had Camille doing it, and then you signed her again, and now I haven't seen her in a while after maybe one or two matches. So you know, it goes without saying. Then you again, the Willow thing. I'm gonna keep saying it. I don't know if she was even injured. I think they just took the belt off her because maybe they just want her to win that belt at Redemption, Jimmy, so we could have a trilogy in a different making with Willow and Mercedes in Wembley. Maybe I think we all can agree. Maybe I think Beck brought this up. I'll check the archives, but you was questioning Tekla, you know, going to maybe drawing the house, if you will, at Wembley for the name factor. Maybe the name factor would be more of Willow and Mercedes. Maybe that they might be dropping the belt. Maybe she might be dropping the belt for the name on.
As Professor has internet issues here. Yeah, I don't know if Willow or Tekla, as far as name value, make a difference, but I think it would make a difference in the sense that you may not be interested in as much in a heel match, so that could have done it. I don't think Willow was fake hurt, because if they end up putting Willow over, then that was probably just like she was supposed to win the Owen in the first place, and then they just had to wait or something. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter either way. We're gonna get what we get. J12 asked, as a smaller wrestler, do you like Tekla using the spear? It looked weird at first, but she has great intensity. Well, she could use a spear on most people, but she speared Willow, and I wouldn't have done that. I would have just had her bounce off if that was the case,
See,
or just don't do it.
Little fundamental things like that I don't even do.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. So I wouldn't just do it to anybody, but most women are around Tekla's size, so it's fine. So
Well, the Hammer says he wishes that Willow would work safer than she does.
Oh yeah, Willow just kills everybody. She just kills them.
She went to the Kyle Fletcher wrestling school, so he charged. That's where she learned it from.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
She should join the Death Right or Don Callis family. Excuse me. I got confused on all these mobbed up factions here. All right. Well, the terrible news that Jimmy is referring to is something that I already said full-throatedly on multiple shows.
Yeah.
I told you would nobody else hire this fucking guy. And sure enough, Jack Perry has re-signed with AEW because he has nowhere else to go.
And didn't he say he wanted to put himself out there in free agency longer? He actually said that publicly. Well, boy, that didn't last long.
Yeah. No, it didn't. Because again,
at all,
there's nowhere to go. Not for the money. I mean, you could go work for peanuts. You know, you could have gone to whatever rec centers that Baron Corbin was at with MLW for a few bucks. But if you want to make any real money, you got to go to WWE or AEW. And guess what? You're not allowed in WWE.
No chance. No all punks there, that's for sure.
You can see what the company thinks of Punk. So imagine Jack Perry trying to get a job. So anyways, he's exactly where we all knew he would be.
And they made a promenade out of it. That's the problem. You didn't need it. It was
he
so
stabbed
weird.
Tony Khan's table. I'd be taking that right out of his contract.
Yeah.
Like, yep. $200 right off the bat.
The fact that he's still considered a what do you call it, a pillar is just because then they have a new set of pillars they were talking recently.
No, they renamed the pillars. He's not. I think he's out of that.
Kevin Knight's a pillar. I thought he was. Yeah, he's
Kevin
one of them.
Knight's
Yeah,
a pillar. Mercedes is a pillar.
MJF was a pillar.
He probably put Kyle Fletcher as a pillar.
I think he did. I think he did. Yeah. You're right.
Damn. He's
the only one was
all
MJF.
The other pillars down.
Yeah.
So dangerous.
MJF, Darby really should still be in that pillar discussion, though, in a way.
Poor Sammy. Poor Sammy.
Yeah. Well,
don't feel sorry for him. Renee's with Speedball, and she's like, "What's next, Speedball?" And he's like, "Mark Davis is next on Collision."
Yeah.
That's what's next.
Totally rad.
Yeah, totally, dude. And then it's main event time. It's Kenny versus Max. And
Kenny versus Max.
Yeah, Kenny versus Max. Well, who else? What else would you call it?
No, but just the way you said it's pretty funny. What can we say? It was a match. It had a lot of things going for it, right? We had stabbings almost. We had tables. Man, that crash to the table, actually, MJF, that looks savage, man. The way he was like, just the camera angle that showed that as well was pretty good camera work. I've never seen anyone look so bad going through a table until that. That looks shocking, man.
That was his tribute to Mick Foley.
Oh, yes.
From Mind Games or whatever it was, where he went through the table head first.
I thought I would love this match, and for whatever reason, boys, I couldn't get into it, man, which is odd.
You know what's funny? What's funny, guys, is hearing the people say, the rumors of that. Oh well, MJF is hurt, and so they probably want to take the belt off of him before Wembley since he's so hurt. And I'm like, then why the fuck is he having this match here? Why don't you just let him heal up until he gets, and then he won't be as hurt when they get to Wembley Stadium.
This was all done for storyline reasons. I do think Kenny's not going to be the end game for Will Ospreay. I don't see it. It's got to be Moxley, man. For me, it just has to be. I know you guys think he's going to turn on Ospreay, and then
I don't
think anything. Don't put me in.
I thought you said the same thing.
That was me. I'll take credit for that. But again, I've been calling it for months that it was going to be Ospreay and Omega because they've been doing all these segments, they've been doing all these vignettes and stuff like that. The match is the match. Again, Jim Cornette, he could hate it all he wants. But again, this is the sicko's wet dream. This is Meltzer's wet dream here. So, he gave it 5.5 stars for a reason,
He did.
Yeah, he did. And you look at it from the sense of like Will Ospreay, because I remember when he came out just trying to stop the thing. Could they have used an Easter egg saying, well, maybe MJF might put in that rematch clause and fuck up the Wembley thing for Wembley? Make it a three-way. As a heel, that I think that's the perfect thing for a heel to do, just to fuck up everybody's wet dream, everybody's match that they want, because he is due for the rematch. Now, technically, you could do the smart thing and try to mess up Kenny Omega's Canadian defense at Redemption, but they haven't even announced anything. I haven't heard no announcements for any other match except, Tekla against Willow. Other than that, I don't know any other matches. You want to talk about ticket sales? Again, I want to know some more matches for Redemption. So I'm just thinking more long-term. Maybe the right thing for MJF to do, if he's not hurt, I'm just going to put that in air quotes, Jimmy, if he's not hurt with the knee, be the heel, mess everybody's wet dream up, and plant yourself as a three-way for Wembley. Because
he's not hurt at all.
We all agree that MJF brings the heat for the match for Wembley, no matter what.
Because where would you put him now at this point if he doesn't get his title back or get his title match?
Well, looking at Mick Foley doing what he was doing with the Don Callis family, why would you backtrack and do that? That's the thing. I'm just trying to remain consistent. So I would put him as the heel and then plant himself in the triple threat.
What's up, Viv? What were you gonna say?
It doesn't matter. He's like, it doesn't matter.
Nothing matters anymore. Nothing matters anymore. You had MJF versus Ospreay months ago. That was should have been set in stone. And then we got this Darby thing, and then we got this Kenny thing, and all this other stuff. You fucked yourselves, and you're gonna see that when nobody buys tickets.
They did. They really did. They 100% fucked themselves up. And
why would you even want to split? Why would you? You know that there's a look. I understand that people think in simplistic people's terms. Okay, they think, oh well, Will Ospreay's from England, so obviously if you put him in a main event of a big show in England and they think he's going to win the title, everyone will come to support Will Ospreay because God forbid anybody be a fan of anybody else just because they're from a country. I keep hearing about people being from Sacramento I never even heard of. I didn't know fucking Maxine was from here. I didn't know fucking Jacob Fatu was from here. I don't see them walking around these streets.
True.
I don't give a fuck who's from where. The world is much smaller now. Okay, so that's number one. But number two, there are a lot of Kenny Omega fans in London and surrounding areas in England that would like to see Kenny Omega. So why would you want, if you're giving Will Ospreay that moment, which you obviously are, why would you want anybody to not be cheering for him at any point during that show? However many people you can get, whether you get 20,000 or 70,000. You don't want one person in there to be cheering for somebody else. You want that to be Will Ospreay's moment. But there's people that don't give a shit about Will Ospreay because they've been fans of Kenny Omega longer, and they're going to buy tickets to go see that, even though they know Kenny Omega's not going to win.
Right.
So
I agree with that.
That's where you made the mistake, but it's too late now, and nothing you do matters before then. You can't fix it. Even if you put the belt back on MJF, like if he wants a rematch with Kenny Omega, because now that Kenny Omega's fulfilled his can't ever challenge for the AEW title again, he could definitely challenge for the AEW title again. That was a one-time stipulation. So now he has infinite shots, as many as his body can withstand. But even if you put it back to MJF and make it a singles match, it's much, much colder now because everybody's seen all this hot potato with the title. Like, let Darby have a turn. You know, it's not the same. You've ruined everything for Will Ospreay. The poor fucking guy had to wait a year because you had to put that shit in Texas because Taylor Swift was booked and all this other stuff. All this stuff that's been going on, and Will Ospreay's just been patiently waiting, coming back from neck surgery and overcoming all this stuff to hopefully get his moment. And to be perfectly honest, Professor, I don't give a fuck if Will Ospreay gets his moment, and I don't give a fuck about Will Ospreay or anything like that. But I'm just saying, a lot of people do, and that's clearly where they're going. So, in that sense, if that's what you want to do, that's how you got to do it.
Tony. I just know the way Tony thinks. Tony either wants the match or he wants his perfect moment. And I just knew that from last year, he wanted Will Ospreay. And then, like I said, maybe the injury to his neck kind of derailed his thoughts and might have pivoted a lot of. But the person that got hurt the most out of this year alone was MJF. He lost twice in the last year. And again, he's a heel and he can recover. He could always lie and say, I'm still the best and whatever the case may be. I get that, Vet. I get the formula. I'm just saying, but from the sense of if he had not lost to Darby, if he has not lost to Kenny going into this, that's why I think you would agree. He would have that would have been the perfect moment for Ospreay to beat MJF at his strongest, take the belt from him. And I agree with that. The only thing I would say that I'm thinking about Tony, not about me. I think Tony's like, well, they fought at All In 2024. Will Ospreay already got the win against MJF. So why am I going to do that twice again? That's the only thing I can think of from a Tony Khan standpoint. Like, I don't want to repeat Will Ospreay beating MJF again in the same building.
Yeah, but Tony needs to, but on that exact note, Tony needs to think then, this match has already been seen. I've seen Omega and Ospreay 2 times. Once in Japan and once on my show.
And in a month.
You already seen this match too. So it doesn't matter if there was another match, because that's MJF's job to talk them into the building. But you took that out of his hands, and now he can't do that. And now you got to have Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay 3 to sell it as just a match. But even if you wanted to do that, even if that was the case, this was bad for Omega. He just gets shoehorned in at the last second. No momentum, nothing. It's just he gets this belt just because. If there was a plan, it should have been a longer plan. And the way they did it makes Kenny Omega have no heat or momentum or anything going in. Not saying he's going to be a heel, but you know what I mean. Heat meaning I've been proving that I'm a strong champion and I deserve to carry this belt, and Will Ospreay ain't going to take it from me. That's a different story than MJF, the heel that will clutch onto it. So Kenny Omega's basically just been made to look pathetic. Oh, his stomach. Oh, he doesn't have it anymore. Oh, he comes in looking haggard and looks like he's got jaundice sometimes. Like this is not, this looks like Will Ospreay should walk over him, basically. So it's not even good. It's not even good for Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, the build. He hasn't built a good match for anybody. And now it's going to be the coldest Will Ospreay title win ever.
This is like the battle for Billy Goat's affection on who should have mentored him, either Omega or Moxley. That's the way it looked from all this months. And now you'll see
Moxley and Kenny will go at it because of that too.
Right. It was like, look, this is the way I did it the right way. And Ospreay didn't need to join you to do what I just did. It's going to be a dumb, weird dynamic.
You're forced to join him.
and guess what else? Because we could talk about this specific match that they had, the 5.5-star match. This is how you know Dave Meltzer's full of shit. Okay? In the first 5 minutes of this match, Kenny Omega botched 3 things. Mm-hmm. He looked confused and old out there. You want to talk about Jericho looking his age? If you have that many screw ups in just the beginning of a match, how can you get 5 stars? How can you get over 5 stars? He fucked up. You think Dave would cut anybody else that kind of slack if they made that many mistakes in a match? No. So star ratings don't mean anything. It's just you're playing your own politics, but everybody should already known that. But that's what I'm saying. I'm concerned about Kenny Omega because he's making mistakes that he shouldn't make. He's going to make enough mistakes psychology-wise and everything else that he's always done. Right. But now he's doing stuff that he used to be able to do that he's not doing right. Like the first spot in the match got fucked up. Not MJF's fault. And a couple other things from there. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I just remember watching this being like, fuck, what's wrong? I thought MJF was the hurt one, So
Vic, can I ask you a personal question? I know you're not in Omega's head, but I'm just talking about maybe generationally because the generation of today's wrestlers, especially in their teens and 20s right now, let's say like a Javon Evans, I'm trying to use that example. They can do all that flippity do shit like that. Now Kenny's in his 40s. Is it the ego that he still thinks he can still do those flips and shit like that?
It would be,
and then he doesn't like the transgression of like, let me do more psychological things. I don't have to flip. I just have to do things that make sense at my age.
I think Kenny I don't think he thinks about any of that. I think he just, in the moment, maybe he sits at home and thinks about it, but in the moment when he's out there, I think he's just going to do what he's always done. I don't think he thinks about it that deep. So he's just going to go have his match. He always has. As long as I've seen main event level Kenny Omega, he's always had this same match with anybody. Doesn't matter what the story is, doesn't matter what the opponent is. He's going to go grab a table at some point. He's going to go do something. He's going to jump out the ring at him. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. It doesn't matter if it's dangerous or not. He just does what he wants to do, and he calls it his art, and the art, and it's just laughable because that's not, the artist wouldn't just paint the same picture every time. If you give him a different set of paints, oh, I'm working with watercolors today. Oh, I'm working with oils today. Oh, I'm drawing with charcoal today. I'm doing different things and I'm drawing different pictures with the different tools. And Kenny Omega just throws a bucket at the canvas every single fucking time. Everything, splat, everything at once. No technique, no nothing. So, and in terms of psychology. But now it's like even basic, simple things that I could do, he's fucking it up. He went to, like I said, he start the match, they go to do some up and over thing, and he doesn't make it.
And that's unusual for him, man, because usually he makes those like easy.
Anybody, I don't care. I've been retired for 20 years. I get in the ring and do an up and over right now. I'm not gonna fuck it up. He fucked it up. So what's up with that? Is he in his own head about something else?
Could be.
Who knows? I don't know.
Something's probably, look, he's not the same as he used to be, that's for sure. And that's sad for him because I think he needs to come
everybody's got a pride issue, Jimmy. I can still do what I can do, what I did 10 years ago. But again,
I'm in denial at my age, man, about certain things. You know what I mean? So it's normal. It's normal, man.
I used to have sex for 2 days straight. I can't do that now. I got to do it a day and a half. So it is what it is.
Like in your 40s, man, that thing's not working as good as it used to either, bro.
Look, we talk about a different Sting here in AEW. Okay, you're talking about the police Sting. Okay, with all that. Listen, so the match being what it is, and so Max is gonna go for the old ring punch. And then Will Ospreay comes out to stop him. Like, no, you're not going to do that to my friend Kenny, and stops him from doing it. And then Bryce Remsburg is distracted forever on this. Bryce Remsburg was distracted for like the same length of time that it took the Death Riders to beat the Workhorsemen. He was over he was like yelling at Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay's like basically in the back having a seat with his wife eating a plate. And Remsburg is still on the rope telling him to get to the back. And all this other shit happens. Kenny Omega gets the belt. He doesn't end up using it. Max low blows him, hits him with the belt. Kenny kicks out at one. Then he does the Hulk up. Then he does the Ibushi spot. Then he does the V-triggers. Then he hits the one-winged angel. And he becomes the champion. And yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. New champ. Once again. What is his third run now as champion, I believe?
Who, Kenny? Second.
Yeah. Was it second? I thought it was his third. Well, whatever. He's champ again. And I still don't think he'll be a long... Well, either way, if he lasts all the way to August, he's losing it anyway.
Talk about transitional. We got a transitional run right now.
Yeah.
He's got to even be careful putting the belt on his waist because of his intestines. He doesn't want to tie it too tight. He could hurt himself, even
That's
more.
True.
So you don't want to, you got to be careful at all times here. So that's it. All right. Well, we're ready to sift on over to Collision, I suppose.
Oh.
And we're going to start with recapping what happened on Wednesday, just so you know, Kenny is your new AEW champion, because God forbid you're watching Collision and you didn't find this out. So they show that. And then Tony Schiavone gets ready to bring out Hang person Adam Page, man,
Wow.
because we're in Virginia tonight. And let me
And he
tell
doesn't even
you,
live there anymore, by the way. He even said
he
it.
doesn't even live. He said he doesn't live there too,
Yeah.
on the mic. And
On the mic.
Oh, let's not. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Tony Khan ruined it by promoting it on his social media that Hang Person was coming to Collision.
I didn't see it.
Not no organic pop. No, not again. I guess I'm old school with this, but you didn't have to announce who's coming back. Hang Person doesn't get that kind of treatment like a CM Punk returns next week on Raw or Roman Reigns returns
Not
next
even
week on
in
Raw.
his home freaking state or city, he gets that sort of pop.
But Tony Khan had to announce this on his social media that Hang Person is coming on Collision of all places. You had Beach Break for Hang Person to do what he said.
Yeah, I know, right? That's bizarre.
Clearly Collision needs the numbers. So here you go. And I don't think Virginia claims Hangman anyway. They didn't seem that
They
excited.
didn't even
to see him,
react to
even
when he
they-
said he doesn't live there anymore either. It's like they didn't care.
And then especially, even if they were all on board with him, when he comes out here doing all these gardening metaphors and shit,
What
talking
the hell,
about
man?
his garden, I'm sure he lost half the people in there.
Jesus.
And then he starts talking about
if the sickos thought that Hang Person's promo was better than Punk and Cody Rhodes, then y'all are on medication.
they didn't watch. Actually, they didn't watch either one. They didn't watch either one. They didn't watch any of it. They just get on social media and say shit. Yeah, so then he talks about all the other titles he can win since he's not allowed to win the world title anymore. So that got everybody real excited. Yeah.
I hate this sort of stipulation. Why do they continue to do this?
I don't know.
At least the difference, and again, I'm not going to defend this, Jimmy, but when Cody did this, they had to create the TNT title for Cody to have something to bogart and for something to claim his own. Now you got more. Now you got more options, at least with the international, the national, shit like that, and the TNT title again. But
many different nationals.
But I said this on Twitter, and Josh could attest to this. I said this on Twitter, just maybe a little bit of poking the bear, but the same AEW sickos started to hate Cody Rhodes because of the book, because he chose that booking decision, and they started to hate him because he was bogarting the TNT title. Now you got Hang Person, who's supposed to be in the main event picture. Will the sickos be consistent on hating Hang Person to keep his word? This is, Vet, to keep that word.
This is revisionist history, okay? The sickos did not start hating Cody Rhodes.
Well, yes, they did.
Because they did not start hating Cody Rhodes because he could never be the world champion.
No, wasn't that? That's true.
They and everyone started hating Cody Rhodes because of all the horrible television that he was a part of, like coming out and claiming his baby ended racism, the weigh-ins with Anthony Ogogo and shit that got weirdly patriotic at some points.
That was some great television. Maybe I'm the only one. I love that shit. I love the off-the-cuff stuff that Cody did. I love the Glock promo that Arn Anderson did.
That was great and
that
funny.
was Arn Anderson.
That was Arn Anderson. Right.
Nothing to do with Cody.
Cody booked it. Come on.
Everything that Cody did was fucking annoying. It annoyed everybody, not just the sickos. Every wrestling fan was like, fuck this guy. And then I thought that he would just go right into WWE with all of that. But thankfully he's toned most of it down. Not all of it. There's ghosts of that stupid Cody Rhodes that are still there, but it's much, much more tempered now that he's got other people to work with rather than, to be let off the leash down in AEW for all of his terrible creative ideas, many of which also included his wife, let's not forget.
And he done the Housewives of Atlanta during that time as well. If I remember correctly.
My God.
There's a lot of
that. Trust me, it had nothing to do with his world championship win or not win. Let's not lie to the people, Professor. You're fair. You are fair, and I'm not going to let you do this to yourself.
You just don't see the demos like I saw the demos.
The
reality show of Cody and Brandy, that was beautiful. Everything, the Anthony Ogogo weigh-in, that's still one of the most talked about things in AEW history.
Yeah, and no one sees the demos when they're 0.00 either. Yeah. That's why nobody saw the
J12 in the chat. Cody and Shaq. Come on. How can you hate Cody on that? That's crossover mainstream.
That was bad. If I remember correctly, that weigh-in bullshit was the first show back from the COVID days, wasn't it? Where they had
I
fans.
mean, there was a
like,
lot
in
of
the
stuff
arena.
during that time.
No,
my
when fans
favorite
were
thing
allowed
about
to come
weigh-ins
back.
was because they had the manual scale. And remember,
Yeah,
Big
and
Show
Big
was
Show,
out there
yeah.
for like 20 minutes trying to get the balance on the manual scale, and he just eventually just
He
gave
kept
up and
fucking
lied.
it up.
He just lied and said a fake weight.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, anyways, whatever about that. But we get a beach break sizzle reel, and then we get a Ring of Honor championship match. Man, this is a big collision, guys.
Judge.
Katsuyori Shibata versus Bandito for the Ring of Honor World Title. However, no code of honor in a Ring of Honor title match.
Yeah,
How
what's up
bizarre.
with that?
Not even the refusal to shake hands. The referee made no attempt to tell them to shake hands. So I thought that was weird.
That was weird.
And then, so this is the other part that was really weird, is that Shibata, the finish is Shibata goes for a low blow. And the ref is like staring right at him. He's like, and he goes for the low blow, but luckily Bandito blocked, took his arm, rolled him up 1, 2, 3. So it ended up working out for Bandito. But all he would have had to do is also just take the hit in the balls, and the referee should have DQ'd him right on the spot, and he'd still retain his title. But a lot more ball pain that way. So I guess Bandito did the right thing.
You forgot the bylaws of Ring of Honor that if you refuse the code of honor, low blows don't mean disqualifications automatically.
Are you being serious now? Is that true?
Damn.
Paragraph 4,
he's not.
Part C.
Jimmy's so easy, isn't he, Professor Hill?
I know, man. Don't fool me like that, because I know for a fact that's
what the hell do I know about the Ring of Honor bylaws?
Fucking hell, because sometimes I doubt myself. I'm like, I don't remember that, but if you're saying that, then maybe it's true. I know you got me then again, guys. Fuck.
All right. All right, Renee's with Sheeta and Harley Cameron, and this is where Sheeta says TBS stands for the best is Sheeta again. And then Lexi's with Speedball, and he says he's bringing gold home. And then, because the show's up in the, that show, the thing. Aren't they? They're also doing some kind of like Rougeau family.
Yes, they
like
were,
celebration at that.
At Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's during the show or like one of that Twitch live streams. So it's going to be a Rougeau, honoring ceremony, you could say.
Yeah.
All American boys.
That's right. All right. So Sheeta versus Harley is the match. Sheeta wins with her submission thing. Then Queen Aminata comes in to make the save because she's holding on to it and punching her and, just being a dirty, dirty bitch.
Wait, is it just me, guys, or has Tony Khan put the kibosh on Harley Cameron's comedy?
Yep.
I haven't found anything. Why? Where's the puppet? Where's her like funny shticks? That's what she sells tickets for that reason. And
where's the raps, man?
She
can rap too.
Come on, Pat. You give her a little credit.
Maybe she's giving up on Tony.
But I'm just saying she's very one-dimensional. Like she doesn't offer anything else. She was comedic.
Yeah.
I did like it. I did like that.
I agree. That's anything I liked about her as well. But
did somebody put the kibosh on it, or did Harley Cameron say the dreaded "I want to be taken seriously as a wrestler"?
Or what was her gimmick
Probably
again?
not.
Her
She probably didn't say
catchphrase?
that.
What happened to her catchphrase? I forgot what it was called.
Feel the Wrath?
There was another one as well.
That's the only one I know. Feel the
You
Wrath.
sure?
It's in her entrance, so.
No, wasn't it the one where, remember she's about getting a win or some shit like that? I forgot what she said, but something to do with winning.
Was that a Willow team catchphrase?
I don't remember, man. But anyway, it's
all I'm just saying is her the stuff that makes her sell a ticket, Vet. I'll say a ticket, not tickets, plural, but a ticket is gone. She's very one-dimensional. That's all I just want to say.
Yeah.
Well, she can't.
They could do something, but they're not.
The TMZ stuff was golden, really, with her. That was brilliant. What?
Really?
I mean, it was funny for what it was.
Want more John Morrison on television?
No, well, especially Marshall as well being there.
Oh, God.
No, thanks.
All right. So Lexi's with the lethal twist, and then Seidel runs in, and he's like, no, Jay Lethal, don't be with these guys. And then the Demand comes in, and he's like, hey, what are you talking about? And then something, it's a bunch of bullshit. They get
Yeah.
supposedly a match later, not tonight, later,
Yeah.
like down the road.
And there's more bullshit next, by the way.
Oh yeah, I wrote down promo by 5 complete dorks. Like when you saw these guys, I sent a picture. If I send you a picture, Jimmy, can you do the screen share? Just so everybody can see?
Absolutely.
Where do you want me to send it?
In this case, you're gonna have to send it to my X account.
Okay, I'll do that. But anyway, yeah, it's like Callis family members, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, the Kyle Fletcher one with Dunkzilla.
Yeah, and Doyle and Trent and Brian Cage with his head wrapped. Like he's got the head wound wrap, and he's also wearing like a gold medal of some kind.
Yeah, what's that? What's up with that? What is that? The gold medal?
I don't know. I was trying to read what it said, but it's like what do you call it? It said muscle something on the the strap. I don't know what this was for. Okay, now hopefully this will
Actually,
should have been sent by now.
Okay, because it's loading. It's for whatever reason my messages are loading forever. Oh, here we go.
Okay, so while Jimmy puts that up, like I said, you take a look at this picture. You tell me you've seen 5. You tell me these 5 people strike fear into the hearts of men. I mean, you kind of look at them, and maybe if they were in a slightly different pose or in a slightly different facial expression, maybe. But the way they are, just not very. I just want to laugh. I mean, well, there's nothing Trent can do. He's hopeless. But at least Rocky wasn't there.
Well, do us a favor, man.
Dunkzilla looks a little bit intimidating, though. Dunkzilla does.
You see the picture.
Please. For some reason, it is not friggin' loading up. My messages fucking load up, man. Anyway, but while that is happening,
Right, if it ever comes up, we'll go back to it.
Just go to send it to my Instagram as well, just in case. All right.
Do I even have you on Instagram?
Yeah, we follow each other on Instagram. I'm there.
I don't know if I did.
As Jimmy, I'm there. Trust me.
I'm not saying you're not
100%.
there, but maybe I ignored you on Instagram. It's not that important.
I don't post on Instagram, so you wouldn't see anything of mine.
Okay.
But I'm there though. But I don't use it.
You have Instagram set up on your PC? Like that's kind of.
Actually,
there was a point when they didn't even allow that.
I didn't even. Yeah, I do. Oh, here we go. It is on my PC.
All right.
As a matter of fact, so send it there because that's working fine. For whatever reason.
The conglomeration's in the ring, and Willow Nightingale is with them, or she comes out right after they bring her out, and she cuts this promo. This promo's terrible. Why was she like? She kept going. She kept huffing. She kept huffing like the big bad wolf or something, and she kept licking her lips like she had cotton mouth. It was just a very very bad promo. I mean, well, what she said wasn't bad, but she seemed very uncomfortable saying it, Professor. I don't know what Willow's problem is. You would think she'd be over whatever this social anxiety is by now, but she needs a little more time on the shelf to think about things.
Yeah. Well, faking a shoulder injury, it really does that to you. So, she got found out about that one. See, Dunkzilla is intimidating.
Look at his face.
Bumps on there, man. God damn.
Anybody that smiles reminds me of Deliverance. So I don't like that shit. So that's why it scares me.
What's with the buck teeth there with Dunkzilla? What the hell, man? Look at that. Like, seriously.
Again, Deliverance.
Please. Anyway.
And look, you look at Brian Cage's expression, right? You might have think that's just a bad capture, but if you watch the entire promo, he couldn't have looked more bored. Like he looks like Jimmy, like right about now at the end of the show when he starts like nodding off. That's what Brian Cage looked like the entire time. The entire time.
As long as the check clears. As long as I can cash that check.
I'm not bored when I'm nodding off, fuckers. It's just I'm tired by that.
No, I'm just saying what the face looks like. I'm not saying why it looks like that. I'm just saying what the face looks like.
I was gonna say.
I thought Brian Cage was gonna fall asleep during this show, this promo. And why wouldn't he? It's Kyle Fletcher cutting a promo. And none of these guys are even allowed to talk.
And look at Jake something. Like, what's with the pose, man? Like, he's like literally posing like, I'm on TV. I better pose.
This is the Backstreet Boys album cover right now. This is what you're looking at.
They look like dogs, especially
That's,
Trent and
what-
friggin' Dunkzilla look like two dogs in the background. But anyway,
What Jake Doyle is doing there in the bodybuilding profession is known as side chest.
yeah, literally, even with the arms, the hands together like that. But yeah, screw these guys.
All right. Dark Sky does
Yeah.
a promo.
Dark Sky does a promo.
Yeah. She's talking to Divine Dominion, but I mean, her promo was also not very good, much like
Very bad.
much like Willow's, except hers is much shorter than Willow's. So there you go.
Yeah, basically she's gonna give him some sort of like dark something at the end. I don't know, man.
Yeah, dark something. Death Riders in a 6-man against Commander Fox Flight. Remember
Excuse
Commander?
me.
He's back.
I think he re-signed actually. If
No,
I
his
read
visa-
something.
His visa cleared.
Oh, that was it. His visa cleared. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know Death Riders won this.
Of course.
Then
It took too
Divine
long.
Dominion.
It took too long though.
It probably did take a little too long, but in the Death Riders' defense, they did have Wheeler Yuta on their team. So you can
They
see
did.
how it's not quite the same as the guy that's going to Wembley and
Mhm.
Apollo Creed. So Divine Dominion answers Dark Sky and says, "Shut up." And then Tekla does a promo and she says, "The only thing worse than a dumb bitch is a happy one." Talk about Willow, obviously. Then the Bang Bang Gang try to set up the dogs for adoption.
I mean,
I must have missed this. I was watching Argentina
Oh God,
against Switzerland.
you.
I don't
definitely
blame
would
him,
be
but
glad
you
that
shouldn't have
missed
missed this. I mean, what were they in some in the backyard somewhere? What were they doing?
They went
I
to
don't
a
know. I don't
shelter.
even-
Is that what it was? They went to a shelter to set up a pet adoption.
Yes,
Something like that.
I really don't want to even like dignify it by trying to explain what they were trying to do. Let's
They're at
just
a farm
say,
sanctuary.
let's
Virginia
just
somewhere.
let's just chalk it up to bad idea. Let's move on and pretend that this never happened. Okay,
All we
Let's
need,
just-
all we need is the spirit of Bob Barker saying, "Make sure you have your pet spayed and neutered." That's all we need.
right.
Jesus
Yeah, and if
Christ.
you want to neuter David Finley and Clark Connors, I'm fine with that. I'm not saying that, but
Yeah.
we don't need these guys embarrassing themselves to make a joke. This is like some WWE type shit. This is the kind
And
of
then
shit
when-
Bruce Pritchard would produce.
And they went
You
through
know?
all the trouble of actually going to this
Right.
animal sanctuary.
Yeah, it was like this
whatever it
whole
was.
vignette and everything. Like it just
So
Embarrassing.
wait, we're gonna get it. Vet dog food spot. Yes.
Oh,
Can of dog food.
what better time than when with the return of
Yeah.
the lone
Foley?
wolf.
oh, I was gonna say.
But we don't have a lone wolf here on Collision. We have a machine.
Mm.
Mr. GMSI, the machine versus Lil Hitler.
Oh. Zachary went.
So Trent comes out with the machine,
Yeah.
and then Lil Hitler comes out with Myron. Okay, and then Myron's like, "All right, see you later,
I'm
buddy,"
going.
and leaves him.
What the fuck?
So it's a 2-on-1 situation now. With he had his boy right there with him. Oh, maybe his boy is a bad with Little Hitler. I don't want to say it like that. Maybe that's a poor choice of words. Let's say his partner is
We know.
Stable
We know.
mate.
You don't have to say anything. We know. But I ain't hanging out with little Hitler. What do you think? I ain't
Right.
What are you talking about?
yeah. So, well, anyways, yeah. So Myron leaves his ass, and yeah. Then this means that Lil Hitler eventually gets drill clawed by Brian Cage, and then Trent's like, "Hey, I challenged Darby to a match earlier, but he obviously ain't here, so a referee come in here and raise my hand." Because he forfeited, and then Darby's music hits, and he sure enough does come out, surprising everybody. So so this happens, and he beats Trent pretty quickly, but it still takes too long. And then we're gonna get Speedball and Mark Davis right now, but before that, Willow and Maya have to make plans for some matches that they're going to have, maybe some team up action, maybe some other stuff, maybe a TBS title shot if she's able to win. You know, they get their stuff cooking there. And then we get an Andrade vignette. He's on some kind of a yacht somewhere, or at least a fancy boat with another blonde white woman that I'm sure he's done that many times in the past. But now he's divorced.
What you know?
How'd you know? I know, because you did the same thing with your ex-wife. And then Fletcher comes out to the desk for commentary on Speedball versus Davis in a battle of the most dangerous man in AEW, the rematch. Remember, these are the number one contenders. Well, Kyle Fletcher might be the number one. So the number one is watching number 2 and 3 battle it out here. Mike Bailey tried to get color. He didn't quite get it. I don't know what this was. It looked like he at one point, Mark Davis pile drives him on the announcer table. And then you see Mike Bailey trying to, I don't know if he was actually trying to gig himself, because I don't think he did. But it looked like somebody had like spilled a small amount of ketchup on the floor. There was like a small puddle of ketchup. Like if you had like the Heinz packet and you just squirted a little bit on the floor. Because it didn't look like real blood. And then you look at his face and there was like faintly red stuff on it, but no bleeding per se. Just and he kept on acting like he was bleeding. So
you learned an important lesson that non-binary people don't bleed a lot. They just don't carry a lot of blood in them.
Interesting. I'll keep that in mind for whenever I need to know that.
But at least we got a biting of the toes spot on this.
Yeah, well, of course. And you know what? Who needs a blood spot, really? Because risking paralysis several times is it's more than enough for a main event on Collision.
Shit.
Yeah. And I actually thought, Mike Bailey's probably going to win this, because who cares about Mark Davis having a belt? But Mark Davis does end up pulling it out at the end. So,
well, you know what? They've actually been doing him right lately. I mean, he's been winning quite frequently every time he's in a match lately. Yeah. Dunkzilla's dunking on motherfuckers.
Maybe during the course of the match, he injures his opponent so bad that they have to switch the finish on the fly.
That would be brilliant if that was the case.
Bro, these guys, there was so much shit in this match. Like, I am not taking that. We were talking about the TNA ring earlier. They might as well. They made this look like a TNA ring. Like everything looked like it hurt.
This was a damn overrun as well during this match.
Yeah.
So we got extra time on Collision on top of that. But yeah, fuck this match. But at least it wasn't a multi-man tag team as they usually always do.
True.
When closing out Collision. So I'm grateful for that. But screw Bailey, screw Dunkzilla, screw both of these guys.
It defeats the purpose of what Bailey said weeks ago. I hate to be a stickler on that, because he said he's got to take out the Don Callis family one by one, but he yet can't win. Sure. He just can't beat anybody in the Don Callis family. So Mike Bailey's turning into Lanny Paffa. That's circa 1986. So, he'll have a good match. He'll be a good hand, but, he ain't going to get no strong wins. He had his moment for a title. They didn't want to give it to him. And Dunkzilla, he's got the look. But was it necessary that, again, I don't know. I don't know if I have a limit for false finishes, but it felt like from the start of the bell to the end of the bell, it was a false finish. It just felt like that. I mean, is there a limit to false finishes?
Though in the match as well.
Is there a limit to false finishes? I understand it. I understand you need a false finish. I don't mind the 2 counts and stuff like that, but is there a limit to it?
Right.
Well,
my man Mike Bailey got knocked on his head. I don't know how many times, and then he just kicked out a 2.999, like 4 times I could call.
There was one move where I don't even know what you call it, because I've never seen it before in my life, but it looked like an even more dangerous version of the vertebraker or cop killer, where it was to the point where Mike Bailey would have been paralyzed, and he actually had to move his neck and shoulder from hitting the mat, because he would have got spiked straight down. Like I said, I don't know how to describe this move. It was like it was almost like he, when you go to sunset flip a guy, you jump over him and then you like grab his waist, and then you're like, when you flip your feet over so that you're in a sitting position, you're trying to pull him down.
Oh, that's that.
So
move
imagine,
that's that move Homicide does, right?
Well, but the cop killer is when it's the same. The cop killer, vertebraker, whatever you call it, it's a double underhook, turn them over so that they can like take a bump on their upper back, or basically you sit down and they're gonna like, as long as they tuck their chin, the top of their shoulders will hit the mat, if at all. This was. Mike Bailey goes a flip over, and now his head is like under Mark Davis's big ass. So if Mark Davis sits straight down, it would be like a Owen Hart, Steve Austin situation because his head is lower than his ass. Yeah. So Mark Davis just goes. And Mike Bailey just like, he turns his head sideways, like so that he takes it on his like upper neck and shoulder.
Lucky. But
if he would have got spiked, that could have been the end for him. And I've never seen, this wasn't even a real move. It was just some shit they did. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about when I say these guys are reckless and stupid. Talking about Aussie Open, both of them. Both these fuckers have been reckless their entire careers.
And look at
they're still to this day reckless. And Mike Bailey does shit that like, it looks like it will fucking hurt you and fuck you up.
He's bad, dude. Like,
but at least you could survive it. Like his shit is like landing on you and kicking you hard and stuff like that. And Mark Davis's shit is like, I don't care if you land at all. I'm just doing this, and it's ugly, man. So, but to answer your question about the false finishes, I mean, if you do what Swerve and Ospreay did, and then Dave is going to give you 6 stars or whatever the fuck, then everybody thinks that's how you get it. Because what was that match but nothing but a parade of false finishes? You can't tell me there was psychology to it. It was nothing but the psychology was I kick out. That's the psychology. So you see that, and you see what Dave gives it. Even if you don't care about Dave's star ratings, if you're seeing that and saying like, oh, that was a good match they had, then you think your match needs to have false finishes. You only need one, in a match if you do it right.
2 tops. Tops, like,
tops 2 if it's really long.
Right.
You get one for each guy, maybe. But
right.
I'm just saying that's all you need. You can add as many or as little as you want, but it's gonna, it's gonna overall diminish the impact of everything that you're doing, and then it also impacts everybody else because now they got to do that. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is the trickle down effect. You want to look at Will Ospreay and Swerve in a vacuum. If you like that, that's great. If you only watch one match, you didn't watch the rest of Forbidden Door, you didn't watch anything on TV leading up to it, you're never going to watch an AEW match after it. If you just watch this one match, you could be like, wow, those guys worked hard and that was really awesome. And out of context, you could say, yeah, that was entertaining. That's crazy. I can't believe those guys are that crazy. But for the rest of us in the real world...
Can I flip the question, Vet?
Wait. Let's just...
Okay, go ahead.
Here, hold that, and then I'll finish and then come back. So there you have that in a vacuum. You're a la carte. Here it is. False finish, false finish, false finish, false finish, all this. But now in the real world, everybody else has to live in. Now everybody else is like, well, shit, I have to do that in my match now because otherwise no one's going to care. You know what I mean? You hot-shotted finishes, and now I've got to live up to that. I get a main event on Collision. Now I got to do my best to be Swerve and Ospreay. So you're putting pressure on other people, even, and it's up to them whether they get pressured by it, of course. But I'm just saying, if people have similar mindsets to you, they're going to follow that, and then they're going to do this. And okay, one thing is false finishes, but the other thing is if it's dangerous false finishes, and your career might be over in one of these. Right. So what was your other question?
No, the only question, and then we can end this, but did the right person win? Because Mike Bailey was taking the brunt of all these dangerous moves just to kick out at 2. Did the right person win then?
Well, eventually he didn't kick out, so I mean, I guess so. I guess they wore him down finally. He finally wore him down.
It's a
No, because
speedball,
that's
man.
another
Come on.
part. So that's another part of the psychology with these type of wrestlers and these type of matches. They think in their, like, I understand what they're trying to do. I'm just saying it doesn't work as well.
Mhm.
You know, you could do the moves that you do, more safe ones, hopefully, but you could do the moves that you do and you could have a false finish here and there and it will have the same effect, but better. But they think if I let you kick out of a bunch of stuff and I'm beating you, that shows that you were really strong and it took everything I had to beat you. That's their psychology. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's what their justification is. They're like, well, since I get to go over, I will do you the favor of letting you kick out of all of my shit so that you look strong, even though I finally did beat you.
Yeah.
It's
There you
not
go.
correct, but it's one way to do it. It's one way to skin the cat. But ultimately, that affects everybody else for the same reasons I said, because now everybody else is like, well, I'm going to have a match like that. I'm going to have a false finish match. And then everything becomes samey. It's whether, if everything was guys doing headlocks for 20 minutes, or if guys are doing flips for 20 minutes, everyone is going to get tired of both of those eventually.
Mm.
You know, you can't see the same thing over and over and over again, no matter how much you like it. Everybody gets bored of seeing the same exact thing over and over again, to the point where, you know, you see all these guys doing this stuff and then a headlock will be refreshing.
Yeah. No, but it's true what you said, Vet, because like wrestling, man, I've loved it forever, all my life, just as you guys have, right? But as you said, when you see everything a million times over and over, you get bored. I hate saying that I get bored watching freaking professional wrestling when it was like the love of my life for most of my life. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like,
and how many of those years, guys, you know, you both can attest to it. How many of those years of you watching wrestling was 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week, and it was a special thing?
yeah,
And you got to look forward to it, and you had to be there at the television to watch it, and it's only an hour. Now you've got like fucking 45 hours a week.
Give or
at
take.
least, man.
Yeah, and you complain, you don't have to watch it all, but people still complain that there's too much. So it's too much literal time, and then within the time everybody's having these same kind of matches. So it's like it's you're speed running your boredom. You know, if you had shorter shows or less shows but the same hot shot matches, okay, that's one thing. If you had more shows but people wrestled with better psychology and told better stories, that's another thing. But when you have long weeks full of the same exact match over and over again, no matter who's doing it, that will make you tired pretty damn quick, guys.
Big time.
Yeah.
And to think that I used to absolutely froth for more wrestling back in the day, man. Jesus Christ. And here we are. We got it.
You were
And
like,
boy-
I can't wait for a bunch of guys to tell me to suck it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here we are. Well, I guess that's the end of the show, fellas, man. But before we do end it, Vet, what do you got going, man, for today and the week ahead?
Yeah, find me at Opinion Haver everywhere. Check me out every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern for the Drew Carey Show review with Brandon, where we talk about the Drew Carey Show and no other thing. And then check out Next Level Wrestling Review with myself and Big Ray Hernandez, where we talk about the #1 women's promotion in the world, NXT. And they definitely don't have a problem having the same match over and over again. Not at all.
Jeez.
And that's every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Me and Big Ray Hernandez, Next Level Wrestling. We had Timmy Baltimore on. He jumped on. We forced him to jump on. He made the mistake of showing up in the chat, and we bullied him into joining us, and then we had an extra long Next Level Wrestling review, but it was really good and really worth it. So, you know, go to the Patreon and catch that for free. And go and speaking of Timmy, go follow Timmy and follow Limpin' Ain't Easy on YouTube. Okay, and check out everything that he's doing because he's doing great. Check out Wrestling with Rip Rogers every Friday. He's going to have some guests coming up pretty soon that you may want to check out. And check out the Stevie Richards Show every Thursday. Yeah, they're now on Thursdays. Lots of great content with him and James. What a team! What a tandem! We're a trios championship team here, but they're doing pretty good in the tag team division over there. So give those guys a shout. And back to you, Jimmy.
Yeah, nice, very nicely put there, Vet. Now, Prof, it's on to you, man. What have you got going this week, and what's the deal with the PWR?
Well, we took a week hiatus because TW is still celebrating his July birthday month, you could say. So we'll be back next week with a spotlight. So we'll put I'll keep you all on your toes. So just tell a friend to subscribe to the Pro Wrestling Reflection YouTube channel, or you can follow me on my Twitter at PWSOPRF. That's PWSOPROF.
Nice. Well, as far as I'm concerned, look out for this week in WWE, where it's myself and R to the B to the V, where we talk things all WWE every Tuesday morning, well, not mornings, afternoons at 3 p.m. Eastern. So look out for that. Of course, HMG's Insanity with myself and Whoople Brandon. It was MSG and Brandon this week. Thank you, MSG, for covering for me. Go check that out on the Patreon right now. And of course, the Wreckage, same time next Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern. And obviously, don't miss out on that, as we hear every week. But in saying that, I am Jimmy T. He is my co-host, the best in the world, Jamie the Vet Williams. And he is our co-host, the magnanimous, the glorious, the Professor Chabelo Vera Cruz. And you've been listening and watching this special beach break edition of the Wreckage. Till next time, peace out, much love, and thank you to everyone that's joined us. Peace.
Bossa Nova, dudes.